I've only eaten meat and Kiltz's ice cream for the last 15 years. I'm almost 70. I've never felt better in my life, and you could have the same feeling that I get.
Dr. Robert Kiltz is a renowned fertility specialist, reproductive endocrinologist, author, and popular carnivore doctor passionate about changing the lives and health of others through the power of fatty red meat.
We're ancient hunters, and we ate fatty raw meat, and we made sure we ate the fat first because it is the best thing for us. Fat is what we're missing, and so if you don't eat fat, your body's going to make it. I tell my butcher, do not cut the fat off. I want to see a big, huge fat cap.
When you eat so much meat, aren't you nervous you're going to get heart disease?
I'm very nervous I'm going to get heart disease. Never. It took carnivore for me, pretty much fatty meat, salt, and water, for all my diseases to go away. Arthritis, psoriasis, migraines, bowel bleeding, and all those things. Because the cause of heart disease is... We realize that science has one mission. We've been lied to by the profiteers that actually want to see the masses become the slave soldiers, peasants, and prisoners, which eat the mush, and the masters eat the meat. But we've been lied to on that one in order to make someone a lot of money selling us drugs to make us healthy, but they never actually heal us. All the health insurance companies are focusing on how do we make more money. We're destined to be labeled with the disease our entire life. You believe it, and there's no hope for 99% of us, unfortunately, because we're so brainwashed. The government will never make you healthy. There's only one person that can do that, and that's you.
Hey guys, so many people may not know that all of the social media content produced on this channel is coming from just two people. It's my husband and I behind the scenes doing all of the scripting, filming, editing, thumbnails, doing Instagram posts, Facebook stories, TikToks, newsletters, and we absolutely love what we do. We just ask that if you appreciate all of the time, love, and effort we put into this content, and if you've gotten value from the information, then you consider subscribing to the channel and supporting our little family. We also created a Coach Lillie AI service where right now you can do a 7-day free trial without even having to put a credit card down. This Coach Lillie AI is the clone of me put into technology, where we've fed this AI system my YouTube videos, Q&A responses, even my personality, where now you can get unlimited 24/7 texting, asking any question you could possibly have, and then receive the same answers, guidance, feedback, and support that I would give if we were working together one-on-one, except in this case, you get your answer in a matter of seconds. So whether you're wondering if you should incorporate dairy in your lifestyle, or how to improve your sleep, or how to increase more protein in your diet, any question you could possibly have, you can ask Coach Lillie. Plus, this Coach Lillie AI service can do a body scan using your cell phone's camera. It can scan your body, providing more information about your lean mass, fat percentage, metabolic rate, and so much more. Then using this information, the AI will create a catered meal plan for you, giving you your calories, proteins, fats, carbs, different macros to help you on your health journey. There's more information about this Coach Lillie AI service in the video description. That's also where you'll find, again, the link to start the 7-day free trial. I don't even want to say a credit card. Just start the 7-day free trial, take advantage of the body scans, the unlimited texting with any question you could have, and let me know what you think. Dr. Kiltz, nowadays we're seeing rising rates of PCOS and diabetes, and some people may think that it's genetics or inevitable. And so for you, with your experience, what's going on? Why are we seeing these rising rates of infertility even?
Well, I think the single leading problem is low fat. And fat comes from animals, by the way. It doesn't come from plants. Plants make oils that are only extracted based on industrial processing. It's gotten worse over the last 100 or 200 years or so with the Industrial Revolution, but we're ancient hunters and we ate fatty raw meat because it is the best thing for us. Fat is what you're supposed to get in order to be reproductively healthiest. I'm a physician. I practice standard medicine. I'm a surgeon, a fertility specialist. And patients, more and more people that are healthy are infertile or miscarrying or bad sperm, bad eggs. And we see endometriosis, adenomyosis, uterine fibroids, PCOS, menstrual irregularities, anovulation, PMS at younger and younger ages. And the question is why? And I blame the low-fat, goitrogenic foods and a high plant-based diet. Fat is what your body wants, and fat is what we're missing. And so if you don't eat fat, your body's going to make it. And it's doing a really good job the last I looked. And we see in the keto and carnivore spaces that as people prioritize eating fat, they actually get skinnier. And so we've been lied to by the profiteers that actually want to see the masses become the slave soldiers, peasants, and prisoners. I mean, that's where we all came from essentially. And so if you realize that fatty red ribeye steak is actually the most expensive thing to eat, and why would that be? And why would they say the peasants can do all the farming, but they can't go to the hunting grounds, right? Not a smart thing for healing and helping humanity thrive and survive. It's once again industrial ideas that are there to actually make someone else a lot of money at the use of the slaves, soldiers, peasants, and prisoners, which eat the mush and the masters eat the meat. And we've been taught this for so long, we believe it. And if you go back thousands of years, the religions, no, the dictators of the world figure out how to control the masses, feed them bread and beer, and they will fight for it. They'll do anything for it. And they also become domesticated animals like dogs and cats were once lions and wolves. If you feed a lion and a wolf a plant-based diet, they become domesticated cats and dogs. We're just domesticated animals. Ultimately, we're dying because of a plant-based, low animal fat diet, and that's the simple story. See you later.
You know, I feel like in the carnivore space, a lot of people, they talk about like the plant toxins and it's are trying to kill you and all that stuff. So I understand like there's that group of people who maybe they need to taper off on some of the plants that they're having. But in my case, now having spoken with like lots more people, I find that the majority of people aren't eating a vegan or vegetarian diet. I find the majority of people are eating a standard American diet of pizzas and pastas and brownies and cookies and sandwiches and French fries and all that stuff. And so for me, I've been trying to change the verbiage I use to get people to just get off the junk because I feel like, yes, someone eating a vegan diet probably doesn't have as healthy of hormones and maybe they are still having infertility, but mainly the people are eating ultra processed junk foods. And so if they start removing the junk, even if they eat more fruits and veggies, they'd probably still have some relief in symptoms.
I agree with you in this idea of getting rid of junk food, but the problem is I see a tremendous number of healthy eaters, and I can tell you that their AMHs are in the toilet. AMH is anti-Mullerian hormone, which is a measure of your ovarian reserve. I recommend young women get it at younger and younger ages to know what your ovarian reserve is. Guys might even get a semen analysis, or they might even get look at their hormone profiles. But ultimately, I think we should focus on plants versus animal. And when you eat an animal, it should be fatty animal. I think the organ meats are good, but that's a whole nother argument. But I agree with you. But the nuance becomes more amazing when you realize the antigenicity. And what antigenicity means is the ability of a substance to cause inflammation in your body. Heat, pain, redness, swelling, dysfunction of a cell, damage or death to the cell, damage or death to the organ system. And so, we know that cereals are probably not good. Almond milk, oat milk, coconut milk, and soy milk. Number one, they're not even milk. They're ground up plant seed juices. And the last I looked, that were highly allergic to seeds and nuts. Interesting. The question is arthritis an allergy or an autoimmune disease?
Oh, that's a good way to think about it.
It's an allergy. Is cancer an allergy or an autoimmune disease? It's an allergy. What that means is your cells, your body and immune system is reacting to an oxalate, a phytate, a latex, along with the thousands of chemicals plants make to control and kill you.
Well, we also make a lot of chemicals nowadays in the laboratory. Red 40, high fructose corn syrup, all the xanthan gums, and all the different kinds of like artificial food dyes and flavorings and all that stuff too. So I know those are made
Brilliant.
from plants technically, but it's also like just straight up chemicals.
You're right, all these dyes and other stuff, but why would you eat anything with a label on it anyway? I mean, if like, I don't care if they outlaw anything because the government will never make you healthy. So fatty meat, to me, it's fatty meat. Cook the plants well because raw plants are more poisonous for you than cooked plants. So cooked plants, fermentation, soaking, processing actually makes them healthier. I do sourdough. Oh my God, sometimes I might have a piece of sourdough. Sometimes I might have a French fry. Okay. Sometimes, okay, I'll leave it at that for now. And we'll touch on the ice cream bit in a minute. So I'm not saying you can't eat plants. I think we are omnivores. But if you're going to eat it, okay, how do I eat a French fry? I peel the skin, I slice them thin, I double fry them in tallow, lard, or duck grease, and extra crispy with salt. I love Malden, and I dip them in sour cream.
When someone's been eating a lot more carbohydrates and then they switch to doing a lower carb diet or a carnivore diet, their body may flush out a lot more water, which is great because usually that means someone can see some more initial weight loss. However, in doing so, this could also cause people to lose a lot more electrolytes in the process. And so some people may experience heart palpitations, migraines, fatigue. There's this thing called keto flu where their body is learning to adapt from using carbs for fuel to fat for fuel. And so in the process, someone may just not feel their best. Again, low energy, the headaches are a common one. Even for me, I experienced a lot of eye twitching. Some people experience muscle cramping, as sometimes it can be harder to hold on to our electrolytes. And so to avoid this, I use, and I also recommend my clients use, some high quality electrolytes. I really like Element Electrolytes, who is today's video sponsor. Element Electrolytes has the science-backed ratios of sodium, magnesium, potassium in these individual packets where you can just rip it open, pour it inside some water or coffee. I used to put them inside of my milk. I'll throw them inside of my yogurt. But either way, just adding this packet into some liquid is an easy way to add these essential minerals that our body needs to help us with our nerve and heart health. Element does have a raw unflavored packet for people who don't want the stevia or natural flavors. Personally, I like the flavored packets and they don't seem to bother me. So I really like the raspberry, the watermelon, the chocolate salt. If you'd like to check them out, you can use the link in the video description to get 8 free additional packets of all of Element's different flavors with any order, or you can get those 8 free packets by going to the URL drinkelement.com/Lillie Kane. I used to eat the foods that had the labels, the junk foods, cereal, chips, pizzas, because everyone else was eating it. And it lights up your brain, gives you a dopamine hit, and it makes you want more. And when you see the cupcakes when you first walk into the grocery store, when you're checking out of the aisle and they have all the candy bars, you want it because the pretty colors light you up and you have good memories and associations with these foods. And the taste, and oh, I need it to be happy, to have joy. So for that person, because I know for myself, it was hard to get off of that, especially when it's all in your environment all day long. You see everybody having it. It's at the work events, it's at the grocery stores, it's in the vending machines at the hospitals. So can you give advice to that person who's trying to get off those things and, maybe they can do a rip it off like a Band-Aid approach, eat this, or maybe they want to move into it gradually. What would be your advice for the person who's really struggling with like sugar cravings and like wanting to fit in with society?
Well, mindset is the most important thing. And so we build the carnivore lion's mindset in communities like yourself. And the more people listen or join communities and learn what's this all about. And so you need to expose yourself to things that you want to get to know and learn about. Now, I think that keto, I mean, I started 20 years ago, maybe longer in the Atkins space, and then in the paleo space, and then the keto space. And nearly 15 years ago, I found carnivore. It took carnivore for me pretty much fatty meat, salt, and water for all my diseases to go away, arthritis, psoriasis, migraines, bowel bleeding, and all those things. But I dabbled in all of them before I found the solution. Now, I would say, again, mindset, exposure to ideas, books and reading. And look at this, nothing more valuable than you. And your knowledge and understanding of the human body is critical. If we think about it, I mean, we're built to get fat fast and skinny slow. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we know that anorexics, cachectics, sarcopenics could die fast
Mhm.
of unknown causes. And obesity in general doesn't die fast, slow. Chronic diseases that are all caused by a recommended plant protein low fat diet, 3 to 6 meals a day, and then exercise 3 to 6 times a week. Well, many people are doing it every day. And if you're told to eat 3 to 6 meals a day, plants, fruit, fiber, vegetables, seeds, and nuts, and lean meat, you're destined to fail because what we tell people is wrong. And so when you fail at something, how do you feel?
Like I was the one who messed up.
So what do you want to do when you feel depressed?
Ate Ben and Jerry's ice cream.
Eat food. And what do we have easily stored in our cupboard or refriges, or simply going down to the gas station and filling your car up with gas and your mouth and tummy up with your right junk food?
Yep. If I'm the person now watching this video and I go, okay, Dr. Kiltz is saying I need to eat more fat. What can you give examples? Sometimes people are like, I don't know what that means. How do I add fat to my diet?
I mean, I always put up a ribeye steak picture. You see the white stuff? That's fat. It's marbled, by the way. That's fat. Butter is fat. Cream is fat. Although many people have allergies to milk products, so that wouldn't be the first thing I recommend. But lamb, goat, pork, and beef, and I think beef is actually the very best. And I always go for the fattiest cuts. And I also go for the rare to raw meat. And the fatty, rare to raw meat is healthiest for us because there are no toxins in the meat. And heart disease is caused by plants and oils, but we've been lied to on that one too, in order to make someone a lot of money selling us drugs to make us healthy, but they never actually heal us because we're destined to be labeled with the disease our entire life. You believe it. And so you live the belief that a plant-based diet and low-fat diet, which is the cause of almost everything we're suffering from. Now, an interesting problem, when you go to the butcher, are they usually selling us fatty meat or lean meat?
Lean meat.
Lean meat. The butcher's already cut most of it off because the governmental guidelines have already stated that fat is bad. And the way the industry works and commercialism works and the government works, basically, I think many of the farmers and other communities and businesses are being funded in order to follow the guidelines. And so the majority of the food you buy, including meat, is lean, and you're not even getting the fattiest meat you should be buying.
And so when it comes to eating things like chicken or pork chops or something that's leaner, do you have to add the fat back on, or you say, no, don't eat chicken because it's too lean?
Well, I did have some chicken the other night, which was cooked in an air fryer, glass, by the way, next to my short ribs with a lot of fat. And it was with the skin and the bones. It was the thigh. And I took all the grease in the bottom of the pan and poured it right back on my beef and little piece of chicken because I bought it. My partner loves chicken, and so that's what we made. And I would tell you that the problem with chicken is it's not fatty. And who amongst us would say, "Let's go chicken hunting"? Nobody.
Right.
Nobody.
What do you eat in a day? What does your diet look like? And also, would you mind telling people how old you are?
I've only eaten meat and Kiltz's ice cream for the last 15 years. I'm almost 70, almost 15 years carnivore. Technically, when I hit 70, it'll be 15 years, but it's close enough. I've never felt better in my life. I usually get up at 3 a.m., go to bed at 9. I take 1 or 2 naps most days, but not always. I typically eat one meal at night. It's usually ribeye steak. I do about a fistful a day usually. I might have like today I might have had some salami, and some actually some, prosciutto. Oh my god, it was really amazing ham, really fatty and dry aged, acorn, like, fed, I had some bone broth. And I typically do, again, 1 meal a day at night. I typically do a 2 to 3 day fast every month, like no food at all. And I do a 5 to 7 day fast every 3 months. January, April, July, and October. Never felt better in my life. It's amazing.
Wow. And you said you eat a fistful of meat.
Yes. Okay. So now my food is typically very fatty. I eat it raw. That means the majority of what I eat becomes meat in my body. And rather than a lot of cooked meat and rendered fat goes out the bottom end. And so that's why people are eating more food. I have a bowel movement once a week, and there's no more blood, no more bleeding, no more bloating, no more pain. And it's quite amazing. I don't force anything anymore. And I do an hour walking a day in general on a treadmill inclined. I do light weights. I do 100 push-ups a day, every day. First thing I do when I get up in the morning. And I call my diet the baby's diet. Bacon, eggs, butter, beef, Kiltz's ice cream, salt, one meal a day. That's my go-to. I'm going to a new steakhouse tonight with Tia. It's called Ocean Prime here in Sarasota. We'll see. But I typically do black and blue, ribeye, tomahawks, and mostly I don't eat the whole thing in a day. I eat till I'm done.
When you say you're eating it raw, do you use a fork and knife? Is it like straight up raw or is it like you sear the outside?
So I do both, but I love black and blue and I love dry aged raw. And I'll just I dry age in my own refrigerator. I buy Bighorn Mountain Farms out in Buffalo, Wyoming lately. I love Snake River Farms, Our Ancestors Foods. I mean, there's so many good ranchers and providers of meat, by the way. Know where your food's coming from. I think that's real important more than anything. And yeah, I make sure there's a lot of fat on it. Again, even the cap on the outside, I tell my butcher, do not cut the fat off. I want to see a big, huge fat cap. And I will literally cut that up and I will eat it with the raw meat and I put salt. I will also use butter and I'll do a little melted butter with the blue cheese on it. Sometimes I'll just spread it on there and do that. And you can get raw butter is like the best. Raw cream is the best.
And you had mentioned you eat ice cream just now in that very quick baby sentence. Like, would you call it the baby diet?
Yeah, the baby's diet. Well, I'm a baby doctor. I've got a book out on Amazon called Babies for Babies. And it basically is if you want to make a baby, it's bacon, eggs, butter, beef, Kiltz's ice cream, salt. Now, I do intermittent feasting because I think fasting is the critical for humanity. I don't care if you're a vegan, vegetarian, Mediterranean. If you can learn how to fast, it's the healthiest thing. Autophagy is happening always, but you want your gut to heal. And that's where more fasting, I think, is really important. But my mother loved ice cream. My grandmother loved ice cream. I'm a ice cream crazy man. I will occasionally have real ice cream. I'm not afraid of sugar, small amounts of sugar, and I'm a minimizer. I'm off coffee now for pretty much I did 2 years and I had 1 month last January of decaf coffee. I'm pretty much off alcohol. I mean, I have an extra filthy dirty martini, blue cheese stuffed olive, very infrequently, 3 times a year. And it's mostly olive juice and blue cheese stuffed olive. Actually, a blue cheese stuffed olive is my only green vegetable.
So when you say that you have ice cream, for people, does that mean you are going out to and getting Ben& Jerry's ice cream, or what does that mean when you're saying that you eat ice cream?
Oh. You can learn how to make my ice cream. And I mean, ice cream recipes are like all over the place. It's cream, eggs. You can even shave in some butter if you want, even shave in some like some brown butter. I do a little bit of vanilla bean. I don't use the extracts because they have alcohol and I stay away from that. And really, that's all you need to do. If you want to drizzle in some honey, if you want to add some blueberries or raspberries, go for it. It's your call, not mine. And again, and then I use a little bit of cane sugar personally sometimes, but most of the time it's a great treat. Just some cold cream is like, and butter. Oh my God, it is so good in that. My current recipe doesn't have the butter, but I shave it in there almost like a little chocolate chip, like little bits of butter in there. Again, I fly planes, I snowboard, I drive cars, and I live with another human being. Are those deadly things, dangerous things? They are. And so, I don't care if you have a pizza, pasta, bread from time to time. Will I ever eat cookie, cake, or ice cream? Marnie makes the very best amazing chocolate chip cookies. I had a half of chocolate chip cookie last month. Oh my God. Right?
Right. When you say that you eat meat and ice cream, and this ice cream again, I'm thinking it's the healthy kind of ice cream, heavy cream, egg yolks, like you're making it most of the time. When you eat so much meat, aren't you nervous you're going to get heart disease?
I'm very nervous I'm going to get heart disease. Never. Because the cause of heart disease is chronic, sustained, systemic inflammation secondary to a plant protein, low animal fat diet and eating like a grazing animal, but we're hunting animals. So we've just been duped as slave soldiers, peasants, and prisoners to believe the stories of the propaganda that the profiteers have sold us down the river. And there's no hope for 99% of us, unfortunately, because we're so brainwashed. But heart disease is caused by chronic systemic inflammation, secondary plant protein, low-fat diet. That's it. You don't need a prospective, randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled study anymore. We realize that science has one mission: money, your money, from the day you're born to the day you die. And actually before you're born, because, it's recognizing that we're controlling the message and the medicine and the cradle to grave. And, this is the sad part. And it's all about profiteering. Medicine has basically gone to profiteering. And we're seeing United Healthcare, all the health insurance companies are focusing on how do we make more money. And I went into medicine to help more men, mommies, and masters. And I too am in standard medicine. I practice a lot of standard medicine. I'm a surgeon. I talk about immunology, nutrition, inflammation, but I share all options with my fellow human beings, my brothers and sisters, because they deserve to know. And so I think our problem is lack of eating fat. I think butter is one of the best we can eat. And raw butter is probably one of the best. Sometimes just spread it on. And that's really good. So look at a lot of people are sort of, oh my God, if I eat a lot of fat, I'm going to get fat. So people, and it is true, Maria Emmerich, a protein sparing modified fast, Maria focuses on a lot of people losing weight. Leaner meat will help you do that in the short term or depending how long it takes you. But adipose tissue is the healthiest thing to eat, period.
Go to drrobertkiltz.com or find Dr. Robert Kiltz on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, and YouTube at Dr. Robert Kiltz. And if you enjoyed today's conversation and you want to hear more about what really causes heart disease and you want to hear it from a cardiologist, a heart doctor, then be sure to check out this video right here. I'll also link this video in the description. I hope you have a happy day and I'll see you in the next one.